So how much, how often, and what should we eat? In what quantities? At what time of the day? It's enough to make your head spin, and every day it would seem there's a new guru with a new fad. But what if, in fact, all you need is one simple meal a day? Would you survive?
This is 60-year-old 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀. He exercises for at least 1.5 hours a day and cycles between 60 and 100 kilometers every weekend. And he does this only on one meal a day, which he eats at night.
And I wake up and I'm not hungry, and I go through the day not hungry.
𝗀𝗏 has been eating only once a day for several years now.
If I don't eat in the mornings, I don't have to eat by lunchtime. Today it is now 12 o'clock. I went to gym this morning. I spent an hour and a half in the gym on a hard workout.
He last ate last night and is only going to eat again later tonight. 𝗀𝗏's eating habits are based on a diet regime developed by Dr. 𝗀𝗏 from Pretoria. He had worked as a vet for 12 years before becoming involved in human nutrition and diets in the early 1990s. There he was confronted with the chaos surrounding dietary advice.
There were so many conflicts, what people should eat, when they should eat, how much they should eat.
Even now, every year there seems to be a new rule.
Yeah, that's...
Or a new idea.
A new idea, novel idea, and it's about to become the most popular on the block for a while, and then it would disappear and be replaced by something else.
He found this perplexing because as a vet, he'd received 4 years of intensive training on a variety of animal digestive systems. For him, the solution was fairly simple. Humans should eat like the animals he says we are closest to, carnivores. Professor Tim Noakes, well known for his research on diet and nutrition, agrees that humans can primarily be classified as meat eaters.
We are absolutely carnivores. If you look from our teeth to our gut, we are carnivores. We are out and out carnivores.
A carnivorous diet consists mainly of animal protein and fat, and they don't have obesity problems.
I've never seen a fat carnivore in the wild.
Oh, you will see them in parks because they feed carbohydrates, and you will see them, dogs and cats. There's an epidemic of cats and dogs, domesticated dogs and cats, epidemic of obesity, diabetes, and cancer. Surprise! Feed carnivores carbohydrates, what happens? They develop cancer.
Humans develop the same diseases. 𝗀𝗏 suggests that if humans were to adapt their diets to be more in line with the way carnivores eat in nature, not only would they be lean, but healthier as well. So, 18 years ago, he started to emulate a carnivorous diet, eating less frequently and eating fat and protein-rich food with few carbohydrates. He called it a wolf diet.
The philosophy behind the wolf diet is to become a carnivore, to be the animal you're supposed to be.
Thando Mabuza, a registered dietitian, is very skeptical about this kind of diet.
I don't think humans are carnivores, clearly because of the fact that we have so much other enzymes to break down and digest other food groups. There's so much vitamins and minerals that we can't get from meat that we get from other food groups.
In fact, Thando says what 𝗀𝗏 proposes is diametrically opposed to current views on human diet.
We dietitians promote a high-fiber, low-fat diet for healthy individuals. Breakfast is an important meal. We think it's good to have 3 main meals and 3 snacks. A big meal at night is not recommended.
But 𝗀𝗏 says current dietary advice actually promotes obesity linked to the consumption of carbohydrates. When we eat carbohydrates, our blood sugar levels spike and our body reacts by releasing insulin to counter this.
Insulin is the fat-building hormone. It drives the fat into the fat cells, but it also prevents it coming out. So the moment you raise your insulin, the only fuels you can burn is carbohydrate. You can't get to those fat cells.
So the fats get locked in the cell.
The fats get locked into the cells.
And this is the reason why people get fat on a diet rich in carbohydrates. Their insulin levels are continuously high. More fat is forced into fat cells, and the stored fat remains locked in and cannot be utilized by the body.
The moment you get your insulin down, then the fat is readily available to be burned.
And one way to keep insulin levels down is by eating less frequently, says 𝗀𝗏.
Carnivores tend to eat 3 times a week.
So you started having one meal?
So that's 7 times a week. I would eat obviously 1 meal a day. On the fact that I can eat more than 1 day's worth of energy in 1 meal, one sit down. 3-course meal would easily supply you with 3 days worth of energy quickly.
Tim agrees and says it was only fairly recently that people started to eat several times a day.
Humans are designed to eat once, perhaps twice a day. Then if you go back to when we were hunter-gatherers, you would kill food once every few days, and that's our biology is designed for a metabolism that is infrequent. We're not designed to eat frequently. If you eat real foods with a lot of fat, a lot of protein, you can eat once or twice a day because you don't become hungry.
This is exactly what 𝗀𝗏𝗃 experiences, despite eating only every 24 hours and working out hard.
I don't get hungry, don't become hungry.
Lucynell also follows this diet. She's lost a lot of weight on it and doesn't find it difficult to follow.
The point is, you're not hungry at any stage.
No, I think that to me was probably the greatest achievement in my life. But when I became aware that I'm no longer hungry, I can walk past any restaurant, you can still smell it, but you don't feel the hunger.
Lucy says this diet has changed her life and health completely.
So now I eat actually what I love eating, and I just do it once a day and at night time.
How do you feel?
I feel brilliant. I feel healthy. I feel energetic. I feel good.
Eating once a day directly contradicts traditional advice to eat several times during the day.
That is so wrong. Anybody that understands metabolism on the basics of first-year physiology will tell you that it's absolutely misconception, completely.
Marius says when we eat a meal, our insulin level spikes, but returns to a low very quickly, opening the way for stored fat to be utilized. So if you eat once every 24 hours, there's a long period over which your body gets a chance to utilize the stored fat for energy and you slim down. If you eat many times a day, your blood sugar and insulin levels spike every few hours, and this prevents any of the stored fat from being released. This is one of the reasons why there's such an obesity epidemic worldwide. In addition, a continuously spiking blood sugar and insulin level is very detrimental to health in the long term.
And it's these repetitive spikes of glucose and insulin every 3 hours that cause damage, because we have a pancreas that has to secrete the insulin, and eventually it gets tired and can't secrete enough insulin, and then we become, frankly, diabetic. But every time you secrete insulin, insulin is an aging hormone. It damages your arteries. The longer we can delay eating, the better your health will be in the long term.
People who eat once a day, a high-fat diet, they don't become diabetics. You cannot become a diabetic by eating once a day. It's impossible.
Another cornerstone of Marius's wolf diet is that he eats his only meal of the day in the evening.
Is it safer to walk around digesting a huge breakfast or go to bed and sleep on a big dinner? It's safer to sleep with a full stomach than walking around with a full stomach. It interferes on your focus and your concentration.
So for Marius, it makes sense to eat in the evening. And this is what he had for dinner last Thursday night. 2 eggs, a slice of bread, half an avo with cream cheese, chicken liver slow cooked with lots of butter, and some chakalaka for flavor. He says it's enough to last him 24 hours. And by skipping breakfast, he challenges another dietary myth.
Conventional wisdom dictates that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But few people realize that's a recent invention.
In fact, the slogan is from a 1944 marketing campaign to promote breakfast cereal. And throughout human history, breakfast was seldom eaten. Marius says this is because one meal high in fat and protein provides enough energy to last 24 hours.
The belief is that you can not only survive, but even serious sportsmen can thrive on one meal a day.
Marius himself has run the Comrades, 89 kilometers on no food and just water. 𝗀𝗏𝗃 similarly exercises hard every day and thrives on just one meal a day. Marius felt so strongly about his carnivore diet that he wrote a book about it called The Secrets of the Diet Codes, in which he explains the diet and the biology behind it. However, Thando is convinced that the fasting associated with one meal a day is not healthy.
So your glucose levels are constantly low, and having one meal is just not sufficient to just also supply your body with enough nutrients and vitamins needed.
Tim, who eats one meal and a snack per day, is positive about Marius's diet regime.
There's absolutely no evidence that anything he says there is damaging to our health or doesn't apply to all of us. My point would be we are designed to eat much less frequently than we do.
Thanks for watching. Why not drop us a comment below? We love reading your opinions. Remember, you can now access Carte Blanche stories anytime, anywhere, even offline. Carte Blanche, the podcast, is now available on all major podcast platforms. So be sure to hit that follow or subscribe button and be part of our growing online family.